Check 1 2, check 1 2. Hello, hello, is this thing on? Welcome to Chart Raiders State of the Game, episode 3. All right, in today's episode, we're going to be talking about what's been going on for the past year with Chart Raiders, as we haven't released a State of the Game in almost a year, where Chart Raiders is at right now, our plans for the beta, the current alpha that was launched. Yes, you heard that right. There are users playing the alpha right now. What's next for Chart Raiders and when you can play. So to start off, our last State of the Game, episode 2, was almost a year ago. Everything was going great until we found out that we needed to scrap the current dev work that was on it due to an improper set of framework that was being used. Ultimately, in the end, the development team that we were using was happy with the quality, but I pulled the plug on the development team that was working on Chart Raiders, as I wanted it to be a lot higher quality than what they were giving us. Now, Chart Raiders is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. There is not a single piece of software out there like it, and it needs to be taken very seriously because this is going to be a brand new genre of not only gaming, but day trading, and it is a world first. So when I started digging a little bit deeper into the code that was created for Chart Raiders, I saw that while it might function now okay, and it would have passed all of everybody's kind of quality checks, I realized a shortcoming in the future of when we wanted to start building out Raid Engine and all these different things that we want to do, basically just increasing the quality over a lifetime of this product. It simply wasn't going to cut it to my standards. Now, Chart Raiders would have functioned perfectly fine, but I'm a stickler. I want something that I know will be future-proof in terms of quality, so we don't have to do this massive overhaul in the future. So what we ended up doing is I fired the development team that was working on it, and I hired a new development team, and we started from scratch. And again, the reason I did this was to future-proof the quality of Chart Raiders for my audience. It was a lot of wasted time, energy, and efforts, but I learned a lot. And I think this is the true mark of somebody who really cares about their software. And when you look at companies like Blizzard, like Activision, and when they're releasing software, they've got a team of hundreds of people who are working on these kinds of softwares day in, day out, who are industry professionals. And I think when you have an indie product like what we're releasing, this is the mark of something that's either going to be good for the moment or great for the future. I wanted to ensure that Chart Raiders was going to be great for the future. And am I ever happy I did? Because the quality that we are able to see now in the current version of Chart Raiders is unsurpassed. It is absolutely incredible. And we have been able to do things that we didn't think were possible. And through the last year of development, we've really broken this thing wide open. So let's talk about that. Okay. Chart Raiders Alpha just launched about a month ago. We have about 200 members in the community testing it every single day, doing 1v1 matches, doing 10-player matches, 20-player matches, and we'll continue to upgrade our server backend to have 100-player matches for launch. And one of the cool things is it's been a lot of fun, and people have really been enjoying 1v1 matches. So this is a game mode we never thought that we would do, but are kind of considering it for the future. And we'll have some plans sometime down the line to implement a 1v1 mode, which is really fun and really cool. It's just like me versus the other person and in a 1v1 scenario to see who can win. And I think it's really cool. So Chart Raiders right now was released. People have been testing it, and we have to release one feature at a time with Chart Raiders. So we launched the alpha with one feature. The software is running perfectly fine. Charts look great. Orders you can place, all this stuff looks fantastic, but we have to release it one feature at a time because the reality is we are dealing with people's real money in the future. And this is not something that you can take lightly. When you're talking about real money being involved, you can't have any errors. Things have to work flawlessly. And there has to be accountability there because you cannot release a product that, hey, there might be issues with it, or it might not function properly, or it might be too slow. There might be like a little frame rate hiccup and something happens. And like I see this all the time in the industry, whether it's on funded accounts, on an exchange, you get these little blips and freezes. And it's just like, dude, what's going on, man? I'm in the middle of a trade and my stuff's freezing and I can't get out of my trade. Things are moving too fast. And it's just like, that's old. That's the way Chart Raiders was developed in the first version that I scrapped, where, like these things, there was like an acceptability clause there, like 5% errors. No, we wanted 0%. So we remade the whole thing and we released it with one feature for our alpha community, and that's trade delay. And for those of you who don't know what trade delay is a really neat feature where you can delay getting into your trade if you want. Now, what does that mean? That means you have 5 or 10 or 15 seconds, however you've equipped your character to manage the amount of time that you've chosen to have equipped on your character for trade delay. You know, it's a trade-off. You have trade delay, you have peak meter, you have all these different things that you can do, and you have to pick if you want more trade delay and less peak meter, or more peak meter and less trade delay, or more action bar refills. All these different features that we're not going to focus on getting into today. But the point is the way that trade delay works is that if you had 15 seconds and you want to enter a long because you see prices dropping, you can activate your trade delay. So if my microphone is where the level is and your price is going down, 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 and it hits a level, you have to hold your hotkey to activate trade delay. And if you're holding the hotkey, when that happens, you have 15 seconds to decide if you want to stay in this trade or not. And if you don't want to stay in this trade, everything reverses as if you never entered that trade to begin with. So it's going down, 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 down. It's going below. You start holding your trade delay hotkey. It hits and activates, and now you're going down in price, and you got 4 seconds left, 3 seconds left, 2 seconds left, and you're like, the price is way too low. I just want to exit this trade as if it never existed. Well, you can trade your 15 seconds of trade delay for that. Maybe you have 2 seconds left that will be for your next trade, and you can cancel that trade as if you never got into it. Or on the other side, where trade delay is really good for you is, well, it's good for you there. But another scenario that could happen where it's good for you is price is dropping. You activate trade delay, price starts going up, and you're like, oh yeah, I definitely want to be in this trade. You let your key go, you preserve your trade delay time, and all of a sudden you're in this like wicked trade that's like moving super fast up, and yeah, you're in the trade and you've accepted that trade. So trade delay allows you to see what's going to happen with a trade for anywhere from 5 to 15 seconds first. And then you can make a decision. I'm in this trade. I want to stay in this trade, or I'm in this trade. I probably shouldn't have ever entered it. Let me just get out of the trade. So it's a cool, very nice gamified feature that allows users to kind of pick what they want to do with their trades. So that's what's out there right now. That's the current version of Chart Raiders that's released. We've released one feature, and one by one, we test every single feature to ensure integrity, to ensure quality, and to ensure that these things are working properly so that when we release this product to our audience, you're not going to have any hiccups. Because this is the mark of, you have companies like Blizzard and Activision and these rock star development crews. And this is the difference, where you have somebody who runs an indie company and is trying to make a product for the first time. And this is going to be what makes that either great or just good, right? So really important to me that we fired our team and restarted under the guise of a new framework to have this thing be able to function in the future for the eternity of everything, right? So let's talk about what has happened since the release of the alpha, because we do have a long list to get through here, and we are going to be going through it one by one. So these are the features that are already out right now. We've had one update since our alpha launch, and we introduced preloaded timeframes. So preloaded timeframes allow you to hotkey and cycle through your timeframes at blistering speeds. I'm happy to say we have the fastest operating software in the entire industry. So what that means is that we are refreshing your screen hundreds of times a second. So when you see those timeframes moving, and I see this on TradingView, I see this on exchanges, I see this on prop firms, they update like once or twice a second, and it makes for just like a really choppy, jittery kind of experience. And I was like, price just kind of does this all the time in Chart Raiders. We actually refresh your software hundreds of times a second. It took a huge amount of server work to do this, but yeah, we did it. We built this entire backend system that allows like hundreds of refreshes per second. So we actually have the fastest operating charting software in the world, as well as timeframes are instant. They are within milliseconds. So if you have two keys on your keyboard, one's timeframe up and down, you hit your timeframe up hotkey, it goes instantly. It's like as you're hitting the hotkey, the timeframe's already changed. It is the slickest, most gratifying feeling that you can imagine for a trader. So that's super cool. So we've released our preloaded timeframes. We have things like full resolution support, full screen, 4K, 1920 by 1080. We have a whole slew of resolutions that we support now. Bugs implementing draggable order lines, minor updates such as UI and colors. I'm not going to bore you with all like the small updates, other than the preloaded timeframes was a big one. Let's talk about what's coming out next. Okay, so the next release is going to be a big one. I'm talking like this is going to define Chart Raiders as a software. And the good thing about it is we are a month away from this release. I am aiming for somewhere between October 30th and November 7th to release this next version. And let's talk about the feature list on this that's coming out. Okay, so we are going to have complete character information talking usernames, titles, your level, your XP, like your current XP, your progress bar, your MMR. We have our complete character information display system done and launching. Okay. We also have a functioning class selection system that is launching. So you can pick between your scalp, swing, or position class, right? So you're going to have a character panel that you can go to outside of matches and design the way you like to trade. If you're more of a scalp trader, you're going to want to pick a scalp class because it gives you certain bonuses that are better for people who want to scalp. If you are more of a take, 4 or 5 trades in an hour-long match, you're going to be able to take a swing class, and that's going to give you a different set of benefits in the match. If you're more of a position class where over the course of an hour, you just really like to take your time and take 1 or 2 trades, you're going to be able to pick position class. And again, scalp class, maybe you're taking 20 trades in an hour. I don't know, maybe you're taking 30, 40, 50, whatever. You get to design your character to the way you like it, and it's going to give you benefits in the match that allow you to take advantage of what you've picked. For example, the more trades you take as a scalp class, the more bonuses you get inside the match that'll influence your position finishing. And then the opposite goes for your position class. If you only take 1 to 2 trades, the longer you wait, the more profits you're going to get as a bonus on that back end when you exit that trade. So you're going to be able to pick one of 3 classes, and you're going to see how that customization path for the way you want to trade is going to happen. So we have character class selection active. We have our functioning equipment systems. Let's talk about that. The first step in your journey of designing the way you want to trade is your character panel. You go to your character panel, you pick your class before or after a match, just anytime outside of a match. You pick your character class, and then you have a set of glasses that you can customize that allow you to change the way you trade. Maybe you want more action bar. Maybe you want more health potions for your team. Maybe, I know that sounds weird, health potions in a trading game, but you'll see in the future when we start showing it, they're super cool. If you have a teammate, you say you're playing a 4v4 match, so it's you and 3 other people on a team playing a 1-hour match, and somebody loses $50. Well, maybe you've built your character because you get $100 per match to play with, right? You get $100 per match. When you lose your money, you're out. You don't get to refill it. So if somebody's gone down to $50, well, you could use a health potion and maybe give them an extra $20. Can't abuse the system. We've made sure it's very balanced, but that's one example of something that I don't think people realize that we're doing with chart raiders, trade elixirs, we call them. And so you are going to be able to use this pair of glasses to customize all of these different things that you want to do with your character, whether you want to be a scalp trader, a swing trader, a position trader, someone who just gives your team intel, somebody who's using trade elixirs on your team, whether you're playing solo, whether you're playing with 2 people, whether you're playing with 3 people or a squad of 4 people. You're going to be able to have, maybe you want to be an action bar player that activates bonuses for your team. We have this very elaborate system that I've been working on for a long time. And you have a set of glasses that you can customize in your character panel. Now, before we get into that, why glasses? Well, if you're talking about day trading, we have a book. I have a book that I wrote about day trading. It's actually not about day trading. It's completely wrong to say that. It's actually a fictional book about the chart raiders world and a dystopian post-apocalyptic future and what I think a version of our future could look like and what it would look like for day traders. So we have all this lore in this story. And why glasses? Well, what did you want me to do? A skateboard and a backpack or a keyboard? Well, no, day traders wear glasses. That's what we do. We wear glasses and that's it. And it ties into the story in a really neat way. And you guys will have to wait to read the story to see, guys and gals. But glasses. So you have a right lens, a left lens. You have the nose bridge piece. You have the frame, which is, the circles that hold the lenses in. And then you have the 2 arms of the glasses. So you have 2 arms, 2 lenses, a frame, and a bridge. And that bridge, again, is that piece between the nose. So you have 6 components that you can pick from, and you're able to go and customize your character any which way you want. I'm going to give a little spoiler here. I'm going to read one of the items so people can have an idea of what this means. Because everybody's probably like, what the hell are you talking about? So we have one of the lenses that we have multiple pairs of glasses. One of the lenses, this is what it says. Your trade delay takes from your peak meter first at a ratio of 1:1. Okay, so if you equipped this one specific lens, you are trading all of your peak meter for trade delay. So if you had 10 seconds of peak meter and 15 seconds of trade delay, well, now you actually just have 15 seconds of trade delay. So if you want to build your character solely on trade delay, you can. And there is a very elaborate system of different things. People wouldn't even expect it. We have multipliers in the game. There's all sorts of things. I'm not going to get into that. We're going to have a whole new video on that. But that's the whole point, is that you get to customize your character and develop something that's tailored to your trading. Now, this might sound a little odd for a day trading game, but it's really not. We've tested it and it works brilliantly. And it's nothing that's overpowered either. It respects the laws of trading while also giving a very neat and fun twist to day trading without being this ridiculously wonky kind of thing where you're using all these items and it's, at the core of this thing, 80% or 85% of your experience is day trading your own knowledge. And these are things that help you and allow you to trade the way you like to trade. And it can have a great effect. It can have a great impact. And it adds a lot of layers of strategy to day trading. If you're in a team of 4 people and you're playing a 4v4 match and there's 25 teams of 4 people for 100 players in a match, well, you've got to strategize how you can best win that. You've got to figure out how you can become first place in that match. If first place has $140 in that match, how can you get to 150 or 145? And that's where strategy comes in, and working with your team and communicating and being intelligent, because at the end of the day, day trading is a game of intelligence and knowledge. And we at Chart Raiders wanted to reward people for strategizing inside and outside of matches. It's very natural and fitting to what day trading represents and stands for, actually. It's been a massive success behind the scenes, the way that we've developed everything. So that's also coming in our update. The ability to equip your glasses and start customizing your character. So that in itself is massive, but we're not even close to being done this list. We have the core inventory in our case opening system. So grid-based inventory and full screen case openings. We have live attributes and bonus displays. So the dynamic panels such as peak meter, trade delay based on equipment loadouts. So we have live attributes and the bonus displays working. We have a CI/CD pipeline, which means automating builds and testing. So that's for us in the backend to make sure everything flows properly. We have huge server upgrades. So every single person in the in the software who's playing it is going to have backend data that not only allows us to continue to monitor these games, but we have game masters who sit there live watching matches on call who ensure the integrity, who use automated systems and, check on matches to ensure there's no cheating, to ensure there's nothing bad happening. So that's something we take very seriously, is anti-cheat, and the ability to have live game masters and this whole implemented backend system where through our pipeline, we're able to see everything we need to see about users, absolutely everything. And it cross-references into the game as well to allow the items to work is that's been a massive feat. That's been months and months and months in development. And then backlogging for us to hold accountability to users again, and full transparency on this software. We are not an exchange where things are just happening. We ask the public to trust us. No, we post every single public match on our website with a record of that match. And inside that record, you can go and you can click on it. You can see every single player who entered that match. You can see every single trade they've taken. You can see who won first place, second place, third place, fourth place, all the way down to 100th place. And you can pretty much see the entire data set of every single match that has ever been played on Chart Raiders. And this is a major, major nod to transparency in this industry and a major nod to trust us. We have spent years developing this thing and we did not take any shortcuts. So this is a absolutely critical thing for us. And now this takes time to develop this to the full extent of what I just talked about. But those pieces that allow us to see that are all being stored now. So complete transparency and absolute ability for anybody to go and audit this thing at any time, any match. If you think there's a discrepancy, if you just want to see how matches are doing, do it. Go nuts. This also allows us to create friend systems, social networks around Chart Raiders, a whole bunch of other things. But most importantly, the transparency and authenticity of what we do, right? What else we got? Gameplay features. Let's go through some of those. Full gameplay integration of bonuses. All classes and equipment bonuses will be active in matches. That's something we haven't talked about. Equipment bonuses and class bonuses inside of matches. Again, I'm not going to do any spoilers there. The appearance and vanity system for avatars, banners, borders, equipment presets. So if you want to have different loadouts for all your, you have a scalp class, maybe you have a support class that's meant more for healing, and then maybe you have a class that's meant more to stack up multipliers. Haven't talked about multipliers yet, but there's a little nod to a future, and by future I mean in the next couple of weeks, to a future feature, the multiplier system. That's a fun one. Imagine taking a trade on a 6x multiplier. You're thinking what I'm thinking. I'm thinking World of Warcraft rogue style backstabbing in PvP. I was a huge World of Warcraft player. I played Resto Shaman, so I'm all about and Rogue, of course. So I'm all about that crit hit lifestyle. Yeah. So of course I put something of a nod to that in Chart Raiders as well with their multiplier system. So like I said, just think of a 6x multiplier on a trade. I'll leave it there. Equipment presets, yeah, we did that. Detail statistics and match history for P&L, win rates, recent matches, peak meter with live chart lines. Everything is stored server side. Another thing we need to do, everybody's chart lines are stored server side so that if you use peak meter, you can actually see what everybody else is doing if that's the way you build your character. The action bar system, another thing I haven't talked about. Imagine having you take a few trades, you fill your action bar, and I guess I could give one quick little nod to that. The action bar system, fill your action bar, get one of 100 random events that happen in a match, and all of a sudden your next trade, you either make twice the amount of profits or you take twice the amount of losses because that's what you hit. It's like a two-sided gun, right? Which end is going to fire when you pull the trigger? I don't know. I guess you'll have to see. The multiplier system, yep, game logic and UI for all that. Game capture, so we've got game capture working, and then some more of the stuff for us, stuff for chart raiders, authentication and backend. We got Google sign-in working. We've got all of our backend monitoring tools for server health, performance, error tracking. We have leaderboard pages, player rankings, performance, MMR, metrics. We have test and production servers, separate environments for stability testing. This was huge for us. We wanted to make sure that we had multiple environments of this game running so we could pipe it down push it down the pipeline downstream, just as any AAA game developer would. We have test environments where we test it there first. We ensure it's working. We have people in there to test it. Then it goes into another server to ensure it can be launched properly. Then it goes into a public launch. So we have multiple servers running this, which is great. For us, it's important. It's important to, we're not just going to push features on people and if they don't work, oh, well, we're not an exchange. We don't do that. We're not Top Step. We're not, did I say that? We're not a funded platform or a crypto exchange. Let's put it this way. Maybe I'll edit that out with the editor. We'll see. Maybe he'll leave it in. I'll leave it up to him. Notification system is up and running. Alerts for matches, friend requests, items, events, match results, notifications. Notifications are coming and they're popping up on your screen. The shop and the UI page is all done. Sidebarred categories, features, cases, items, search bars, filter. Our shop will be up and running. Dynamic item listings, so hover effects, functionality, view, detailed view of items and pages, high quality item media, descriptions, pricing, non-functional purchases, static feature items, sections, highlighted backend defined items, placeholders for shopping carts, visual design. The list goes on. There's a whole bunch of shop stuff that we did. We don't need to go through too much of that. And then, admin and user settings. So admin panel, backend interfaces for managing users, items, and app data. That's huge. That's a core function of our game. And it has also taken months to develop this backend system that allows us to balance things. Maybe this item is too powerful, so we'll have the ability to, on the fly, that same day, go and balance it. You're not going to be sitting there, because that was one of the frustrating points for me as a gamer growing up, is I would play Diablo 2 or Diablo 3 or World of Warcraft, anything. And there'd be something that's so blatantly imbalanced that everybody would use it. And, you'd have to wait a month, 2 months for a fix, and you're just sitting there getting smoked, and it just makes it not a fun experience, because when they fix one thing, another thing comes out, and people have a way to find imbalances in games. So for us, being able to hot fix these things on the fly, if we see there's a problem with an item, you don't have to wait for a big update to be pushed. We can simply adjust the parameters on our server, and that's it. It's hot fixed in 10 minutes. So that was important for us, and that's a massive feature, because a lot of video games, even in today's standards and in today's world, can't do that. You're waiting for massive fixes. Hot fixes aren't always a thing for games. So that admin panel is huge. Our user settings page is another big one. Manage your account details, preference, linked services, etc. That's another big one that we'll be releasing here. And sharing your profile page, generate shareable profile links, so you can share everything about your profile page that you want to share. You want to share your match history, sure. You want to share your items equipped, sure. You want to share all this data with anybody? Well, we've got a way to do that, which is really cool. And front and back end logs. That's another big one. So this is the list. And I chewed through that thing real quick. You'll see a bunch of graphics on your screen and all that to help aid me in communicating this message. But, really, we have taken this update right now, and we are blowing chart raiders out of the water. So, we have 200 alpha members testing this thing, and they love it so far. So for them, this is going to be the first time they hear about this, they're gonna fall off their goddamn chairs, because this is an update that is so massive. It's actually hard to put it into words how big it is, because this is all like a huge, massive core of the game. This is all of the functional components to allow this thing to run properly. So this is a huge update. So this state of the game is a big one, because you know what, we're right at the finish line to release Chart Raiders, and you know it's coming, and we're almost there. So you know, this state of the game episode 3, to highlight the features that are coming out, we will have a complete product in about a month for Chart Raiders, and we are going to have some things that aren't finished yet. Story mode, yeah, it'll take us a few weeks or a month to implement that. No big deal. That'll be part of our public launch. You know, you got the skill tree, not a core function of the game, but a great teaching tool. Yeah, that'll take another month to push out. We're putting that on the backside for now. Skill tree will come out. That's perfectly fine. Chart Doctor, that'll come out again, perfectly fine. You know, first and foremost, we got to make sure the core mechanics of the game function, and then all those other add-on bonuses can come after. But this next version of the game is going to solidify Chart Raiders as a real piece of software that will change the way we day trade. This will be streamable. This will be esportable, whatever. However you want to say that. You can say it the way I'm saying esportable. It's going to be esports ready. It's going to be, well, not quite ready, but pretty close. Streamable and at its core function playable, and you know, then we'll work on the 2v2 game mode, and then we'll work on the 4v4 game mode, and then we'll work on the other game modes to make it all come in nice and tight. And we'll work on special events and 1v1 modes and all that stuff like that. So that's everything that's coming for Chart Raiders. And you know, just gonna say a few words here about the past year and what I've learned about development. 30 days is when we're releasing these updates. Let's put it at that. But let's talk a little bit about Chart Raiders and the development of this thing, you know, a little bit, you know, off the record. I guess it's on the record because we're doing a YouTube video, but this would be like my off the record comments. You know, this has been a very interesting journey. It's been very difficult, you know, head manning this thing. I solo fund Chart Raiders. I haven't had any help funding Chart Raiders. I've had anywhere from 10 to 20 developers, you know, on full-time coding, working on this thing for years now. And I've self-funded this thing. It's been a difficult thing to do. And I'm just really proud of my team for where we've gotten. I'm really proud of my community for staying the course, because, you know, Chart Raiders is something that, you know, anybody could have thought of it, but to actually execute this has been a massive multi-year task. And, you know, you know, I was a kid that grew up poor, and I grinded my way to where I am today, and for myself to be able to fund Chart Raiders and pay the salary of like 20 developers for years on end has been an incredible thing that I'm very proud of myself for. And I hope my community is proud of me too, because Chart Raiders is coming. And you know, we've got some other steps to do. We've got to lobby different state officials to make sure that legally we're fine and some things like that. But we'll talk about that in the future. Right now, what's important is Chart Raiders is releasing. We're a month away for a massive update. And I just want to thank everybody for hanging in there and say, you know, to those who are in alpha, you're going to kick some ass when this thing comes out, and you're going to print money like you have never seen before. Hopefully you'll be practicing lots. And then on release date, you're just going to, you know, press the button and just print. And, you know, I'm proud of the team too. I'm proud of my head developer, Sean, who's the CTO of the company. I'm proud of Alexandra, who's the COO of the company, for all the back-end admin stuff she's helped with, and all the business operations, and myself for making this thing come to a reality. So give us a round of applause. I don't want to bang on the mic. It's going to be pretty loud here. And yeah, let's kick ass with Chart Raiders. Let's get this thing out, and let's change the world of trading, because I have a feeling when this thing comes out, esports, it's going to catch on fire. Esports is going to start flying. It's already there's kind of quiet rumblings, and I'm thinking that Chart Raiders started maybe this. I don't know if Chart Raiders started this or people just kind of got the idea, but there's quiet rumblings happening overseas in Southeast Asia. So out in sea, there's quiet rumblings of esports things starting to be set up for day traders and trading. And I think this is coming at a time where we're about to see a brand new industry emerge, a brand new type of software, and a brand new way for people to generate an income and make money. And I'm just proud and happy to be at the front of it, and just ready for the next step, ready for opening an office, ready for getting Chart Raiders to the next step, ready for opening up. And hopefully if Chart Raiders is successful, we'll purchase a stadium. And I'm talking about future goals and dreams, purchase a stadium, create it into an esports arena, start creating teams all around the world. And then, you know, with a little bit of luck and a lot of hard work, we're going to get there. But you know what they say about luck? There's no such thing. It's just hard work meeting opportunity and grinding. And that's what we've done for years. So thank you everybody for staying here the course. And let's talk about when you can access chart raters, when the public can access chart raters. So we are going to have this monumental update that we talked about in State of the Game episode 3 here release in about a month. And then we are going to get stability testing happen for that. And then we will release a public beta for this thing. And I'm thinking towards the end of November. So people, you don't have to wait that much longer to play chart raiders. I'm going to say about 2 months, give or take. I don't know. We've got to see how this all plays out in the next few weeks here. We're an indie company. Like, this is uncharted territories for us. So, these timelines are great and everything. And I'm hoping 2 months for beta, but maybe it's 2.5 months, maybe it's a month and a half. I don't know. Give us a few weeks of give or take on either side, and you'll be able to join up, and you're going to be able to. I can say in confidence that before the end of 2025, we will have our beta launch for public access. So join the Discord server, follow the YouTube channel, the TikToks, the Instagrams, all of the socials that we have, and stay on top of this thing, because this is an ever-changing landscape. Now we're at a point with chart raiders where every week we have updates. It's a quickly changing landscape for us, and we are getting this thing in your hand in the next month or two. We're getting we're getting our monumental update launched, and then we'll focus on opening beta up for anybody who wants to join. So I hope I'll see you all on the beta, chartraiders.com. Check it out, and see you in the Discord server. Cheers.